I think it's Flashpoint. I think it's Flashpoint.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Ross, okay. So, I mean, I guess I'll ask you this, like, since our last session, how, like, what have been, like, the biggest things you've been struggling with, or, like, do you feel like you've been platooning in
Honestly,
certain areas or whatever, stuff like that?
I think now it's mechanics because I'm understanding the kit a bit more. I'm realizing like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, but like I feel like hitting some of my combos, especially now that my fucking melee is gone. And this was the first match I had after it broke off, by the way. So I'm using my keyboard to melee, which I'm not used to.
Right.
But even before that, like my mechanics would be off. I would just whiff, which is fine. I know a lot of people whiff all the time, but I feel like exceptionally for me, it's just mostly mechanics, but
Right.
also like a bit of positioning and some target like selection a bit in there as well. But
Yeah,
other than
we'll,
that, I feel like it's all right.
we'll see, we'll see. We'll get into it. I mean, I think
This
mechanics is
was
the most, like, obvious thing to look at, or the most obvious thing to notice, especially when you're playing in the game, because you can remember times where you'll miss kills because of mechanics and whatnot. But we'll see. Okay. Like, it's the right here, fine. Trolling the Genji and Kiriko fine here. So I'll briefly mention the comp stuff here, very briefly. It's not gonna matter too much in ranked because people will be doing their own thing. But generally, what I'm seeing from the enemy team here is that their honor. This is actually a fairly standard-ish comp. Is that the honor? So the Genji and the Kiriko will be flanking together as their own core, as they are right now. And then they'll have a 3-man core of an Honor, Sojourn, and Hazard playing down main. And then because your team have generally more mobility with the Tracer and the Lucio as well, one thing you guys can and should be actually doing here is 3v2ing this angle here, or hell, even 2v2ing it if you want to.
Yeah.
But you'll fight for this map space to try and reach the Honor. They go on.
Yeah, I was actually queued with the Tracer, so I'm queued with the
Right.
Tracer, in call with the Tracer, not the Lucio, but because it's ranked, like, they're gonna do their own thing. So, otherwise, like, if we were with the Lucio, I'm sure you would have
Yeah,
went
yeah.
with us and 3v2
Makes
this, so we
sense.
would have won this.
Right.
We actually
Okay.
got rolled here, but...
We'll see. Okay. So yeah, you don't actually need to do anything here, right? Because you know that, like, you've actually controlled this area of the map here, and you literally, all you need to do is wait for point to unlock, and they have to walk into you. And this is actually, like, an idea that's really important for tank players in general, but it's also really important when you're playing closer ranged comps that, honestly, you don't want to be playing far away into stuff like Sojourn and Kiri as well in terms of their comp. Like, you can just AFK, wait for them to walk the point. Like, the Honor and the Kiri has to walk it, right? In order to get closer to the point to help the Hazard. So you can just AFK it, you and your Tracer, not get forced out is really the key thing, and then actually look to go onto the Honor, Sojourn, etc. as the fight progresses. We'll see if that happens, but yeah. And this is also another key idea. Something that maybe I've mentioned to you in passing. I've definitely mentioned it before in other in thinking about doing Genji in other sessions as well. But your ability to zone ranged characters is also really important. So this Honor basically is doing nothing right now. Right? She's 10 trillion miles away. She's not going to get any good nades. She's not going to get any good sleep darts. She might heal her Hazard every now and then. But for the time being, she's basically doing nothing. You can essentially ignore her the entire time and take a 5v4 in the front line here, is what you guys should be doing here. Or, if the Honor walks up, then you and your Trace can actually start going for the Honor here. So we'll see what you do here. But the idea basically here is, I don't want you reaching too far for the Honor, you or your Tracer. You can AFK, if the Honor walks more, then you can go for the Honor. So we'll see how that goes out here. Okay. So yeah, if I zoom out here, what happens to your Tracer? Yeah, this is just feeding, right? You're queuing with the Tracer, right?
Yeah. Until like a couple like this point and the next one we were kind of getting fucking turted on. They were just feeding. But it's fine. It's my friend, so I was like just trying to be positive about it. I don't know, as positive as you can be, right?
Right.
So.
But yeah, like, this is kind of like what your Tracer effectively gets baited into actually engaging this. You're doing the correct thing here, so I'm not gonna again harp on you too much for this. But yeah, like, you guys should really not. There's no reason to force engagement here, essentially. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about this engagement here. So, considering your Tracer's dead, I don't mind this, that you're looking for a trade here. Soldier's half, she's within your range, and again, if you can hit the one shot, then I think that's reasonable. You're within your one shot range anyways. So I think the attempt here is fine, some mechanics, whatever, right? But this is the important thing with zoning, is you've now zoned off the soldier, and she's now doing nothing right now. The Genji's going to be doing nothing because you're deflecting him out. And meanwhile, the rest of your team should be able to win a numbers advantage on here, which is a 3v2 in this case here. So all you need to really be doing here is AFK around this corner, like deflected this corner here. Maybe we'll come to the high grounds, just deny the Sojin, scare away the Sojin, deny the Genji, scare away the Genji, deny the Honor, scare away the Honor. That's all you really need to be doing here. So this deflect where you move is actually going to be really important for how you approach this next fight. Okay, and so this is it, right? You decide to go into the hazard and look at the damage that you take for essentially no reason here. So 176 right now, you're taking source damage, which is not great. Then you take hazard damage, which is not great there either, right? So like again, if you're playing here, it becomes super scary for the Sojin to walk, because you can walk up to high ground and then drop engagement to the Sojin, and she hasn't got power slide, right? It also becomes scarier for the Genji to take this angle too, because again, he needs to go through you first and your Zarya for him to actually get on top of your Ana. So essentially, you're how do I describe this? You're still threatening. Yeah, this is how I would describe it, right? You're still threatening the Genji and the Sojin here, but you're still actually pretty safe because you can use cover from the high ground as well as the corner too, as well as keeping distance away from the hazard here. And actually, you should probably die for this, right? Like if I'm this hazard here and I see a 1 HP Genji with no deflect or no dash, you should already be dead here. And you're getting crossfired too, right? Because you're getting. I do spectator overlay, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 angles onto you. So you should probably die here. So we'll see. Yeah, who could have seen that coming, you know? So yeah, it's a really counterintuitive idea. But learning to play like spaces that are aggressive but safe is really, really important. And had your Tracer been alive, that actually would have been really, really nice, because your Tracer could have just, again, either come with you on point, and then you 2v2 this angle here, and then the Genji gets fucked. Or rather, anyone who comes through here or here gets fucked, because you're running Genji Tracer, and you can mark that angle really, really nicely, and that fight's just basically won. But you and your Tracer have decided to essentially feed in different ways, which is not great. So, yeah, of course, you missed the one shot, right? But it's really the deflect positioning is that what I'm worried about.
Okay. Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I backed up into the hazard, quote unquote, because last time, before I went for the one shot, if you rewind a little, you'll see that right about here, maybe, if you look behind me, I think my Zarya is still in or at least last time I checked, my Zarya was still behind me when I first went for the one shot, and then she moved on to point, so I thought she was still there holding the hazard, and that I could safely retreat back into there with my Zarya.
Right, but like here's the thing, right? I don't care if your Zarya is here or here, right? You're still going to be taking damage regardless. You're going to be taking bullshit damage is what I like to call it. Like you'll be taking damage that you're not going to intend to take anyways. Like maybe the Sojin gets a collateral, or like the hazard gets a cleave with his damage with the leap. Sojin gets, Kiri gets a good one shot, or gets a good kunai headshot, right? Stuff like that. Like you'll take collateral damage is kind of the point. Which is why even if your Zarya was staying here, I don't want you backing up on top of your Zarya. You're still safer on your own angle, using the cover from the high ground and threatening the Sojin still. Again, it's not perfect, because again, you won't have your cooldowns here perfectly, but you are safer had you played here compared to, again, drifting back main. Okay. We'll see next fight. Alright. Okay. So yeah, like whenever you're running Genji Tracer, this is something that again you need to be keeping in mind of when you are actually playing with your Tracer. Is because you've got like the most amount of mobility in the game. Like you're running the most mobile frontline in the entire game, barring Sombra Tracer, and you really need to be utilizing that, because it means that you can 2v1 basically anyone that you want in the game. And again, in generally speaking, right? So again, in that case, there would have been the Genji coming onto point, or the Sojin swinging wide, and that's really important to abuse that. So again, force out these guys first, the Genji, most likely, if not the Kiriko too, and then you can start reaching for backline a little bit later on. But we'll see how this goes. Okay.
Oh, we're just waiting for tank.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now tank is here.
Okay. We'll see where you go. So the Genji just goes your honor. We'll see how that happens in a moment. Okay. So yeah, this is where your honor's dead here, so this fight's already lost, right? Because your Zyle just have no heals. But I'm curious to see how your honor just died here. Okay, just random Kuna. There's not much you could have done there, right? I suppose like the only thing I can really say here is I actually want you and your Tracer walking here much earlier. Like I want the two of you, the forcing out this Kiriko super early, and then when you force Kiriko out, guess what? She's gonna TP onto backline here, and now all of a sudden you've got one angle here and another angle coming here to sort of get a good dive onto this Ana Soldier, and then eventually Kiri backline too. Don't worry about the Genji too, because that's your loser's job. Your loser can mark the Genji out if he's playing alone. Don't worry about that too much. But the point again being here that I really want to get across is that when you're running this front line, your mindset needs to be, who can I force out? Where can I force them out? What flank do I want to be taking? And how can I reach the honor eventually? Those are all questions you kind of need to be asking yourself when again you're running a super mobile, aggressive front line. But yeah. Like, I don't know why you're playing, like, you're playing Poke Genji here, essentially, right? Where you're shooting shurikens at the Kiriko, and if you're playing something like, Zen, if you're playing literally like Zen Ana, for example, this would make more sense. Because you might want to play an LOS of your Zen and your Ana to get Heal Orb, to get Ana LOS, right? You're essentially being a guardian for your Zen in that comp there, so you wouldn't stay in your Zen's LOS. But again, when you're running more mobile comps like this, for example, that can't be happening. So again, like this is a higher level thing where you need to adapt your playstyle based on what you're running. But yeah. Okay. See, well, this is lost already because again, your fucking Ana's dead. Yes, your Soch died, so your Zarya's lesser, yeah, whatever. Okay.
I could have just died quicker, to be fair, but
yeah,
I don't think
if I'm nitpicking,
we already lost points. It's at 86.
Yeah. If I'm nitpicking, I could have said you could have maybe passed around here, try and get a touch last minute, whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry about that too much. Okay. And then let's see next points. That's lost. Okay. Winston now, yeah, even more aggressive frontline now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where I think after this point is where we realize that like we just have to play together, and like I subconsciously do it. Unfortunately, I don't think I was calming to my Tracer much, which I should have been. But
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you'll know this, right, from just in my Discord, but I play a lot of Malga, and I'm always communicating what I'm doing with my team. I'm always saying, hey, I've got this ultimate, here's my mindset for the fight, I want to do this. And again, when you've got at least someone in communication with you, that's something you need to be thinking about.
Yeah. Though, I do want to say, the reason I wasn't was because I was severely sick, and my throat hurt an insane a lot to, like, swallow anything.
Right.
It hurt so much. I didn't want to talk, so...
Yeah, I've been in that situation before, with tonsillitis, but yeah. Okay.
Sometimes if it was really clutch, I would do it, but...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, as long as you and your Tracer know that what your role is in the comp, which is, again, to 2v1 people, take super wide angles, like, really play for map control and play for angles and play for flanks, then that's all fine. And if your Tracer needs help, or if you need help on an angle, then hopefully one of you can go with each other, for example. So, yeah. Okay, that hazard just feeds. Why not? There's your Winston. Okay. Okay, what do you see? Or what did you just see on your screen? Who is not... oh, sorry, that's a bad phrase. Who's not on the enemy team on your screen here?
Wait, no. So it's Genji, Soch, Ana.
Genji.
There's no Ana.
There is no Ana, correct.
Hazard is dead.
And Hazard is dead. So this Ana here is looking a little bit isolated, right? What should happen to the Ana?
Free kill.
Yes. So let's see if that happens.
And I think Tracer picks it up.
Okay, your Tracer's got terrible aim. Okay, I'm just gonna play your Tracer for a little bit.
Okay, I'm sending this to him. Don't do me.
This is insane. So I already knew this from Spectre overlay, but this is insane. So he shoots a fucking tuk-tuk to begin with, and then shoots a tuk-tuk even more, and then reloads his clip, and then misses even more, gets like 2 points damage into the Ana, and then, oh my days, is this gonna be an even worse clip? Oh, there we go.
Please don't tell me he wasted the nade. Okay, then.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty bad.
He locks in later in this match, trust me.
Yeah, not particularly great, and that's a wasted pulse bomb as well. So, really not great micro here, but again, the idea here is, and actually this was on your screen, like this was, or before, I spotted this the second I saw it, was, there's an Ana here. Right
that Ana right there. Dude,
right?
but I'm so tunnel visioned. Holy fuck.
Right, and again, it's like the whole thing. The way I sort of like I tell players, or I give advice to players about beating television is it's all to do with your mindset and what you're thinking about in the game. Because right now, I can rewind 5 seconds before this, and I guarantee you're not even thinking about the honor at all. And what is kind of insane,
No.
considering again you're running this sort of backline and this comp here, who actually really want to go into the honor here, if you can, right? Again, I don't want to oversimplify the comp and be like, oh yeah, just go for honor forehead, right? But it's still on the forefront in your mind, especially when again the Haz is dead. Like you forced out the front line, you forced out the tank. There's not really much else you need to be looking for, right? The
It's
Genji.
just, yeah.
Exactly, like the Genji isn't playing a super aggressive angle. It's not like you need to spend your time clearing the Genji out because he's playing main, right? He's not doing anything. The Honor's right here, isolated, get the Honor, you know? And again, it also falls into your Tracer as well because they should be communicating to you that they need help going onto the Honor there.
Like I said though, target priority and mechanics, I think going into this is what I knew was gonna be a struggle. And I can sum it up to like me being sick and not being able to like not fully being there. And I also got like ivermectin poisoning, which if you've ever had that is like pretty shitty. It removes like your outside vision. Regardless, like that's just cope, right? But I feel like even if I wasn't sick, I probably wouldn't have done it as well, which is just what I know internally. So I've seen like awkward like he talks to himself in his games. If you've ever seen his
Oh
unranked GM, like
I've
how
seen
can I
that.
get value? Who can I kill? Especially on his Brig one, which I just watched, was like how can I inspire? Like he kept saying that to himself, and then was always looking for whip shots or damage, and
Right.
always frontlining, right? So that's something I could implement as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is like again, television is a really common issue, and again, it's really down to the mindset that you're in and what you're thinking about in the game. And I think if you have to enunciate it to yourself while you're playing, all the power to you. But yeah, okay, we'll see what happens here.
I don't even know why I went back. I should just.
Right, and that kind of like, literally right, that you going back there shows me that again you're not in the correct mindset. You're going with the flow. You're going with the vibe. There's not like a plan of action or things that you want to be doing in the comp. But yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I'm actually shocked your Tracer lives that. Okay. Right, and again, like this, the power of the comp. So this is a good spot there to force out the Genji, especially when they're going onto your Tracer. So I don't mind that dash. That's fine. Okay.
There's the mechanics.
Fine. And the thing is, like, you don't need to kill this Genji
I
here.
reloaded. Yeah.
Mites, you don't. Yeah, that's fine. Don't need to.
Yeah, no, I fed for that.
Right, and yeah, you're a little bit of again greed here, right? I think the second you do the Kiriko TPN and heal up the Genji, I would fire one more fan of shurikens and then DP immediately. Again, the thing is, again, relate back to television or an extension.
I
of
had
it
no
as well.
dash. No dash. I could deflect and move to the right, yeah. Instead of moving backwards and staying in their view.
Yeah.
Make them chase at least a little harder, but
definitely
see now they all have ults. And we just used monkey ult for what? Or no, he didn't even have it. Oh, whoops. Now
probably gonna be over. That's why probably gonna be over. Okay, Honor gets the Kiri though. Genji blades. Okay, where should he go to?
Top right.
Yes, right top right.
Because it has better angle and like there's Soj up there.
Right,
Soj
so
and my
and my as well, right? So there again, if I back up here a little bit and I go here, right? You can briefly see, I believe. Yeah, there we go. The
Lucio right there, and you can see the Soj. Yep.
See, that gives you a cue to be like, okay, I'm gonna spend some time flanking around. Going through main's a bit too dangerous here. I mean, maybe you want to take the bubble and lock them up. I can see that. That's reasonable. But either way, that soldier needs to be cleared. And again, that's the point of your comp. That's the point of your character. Trace should be doing that as well. And then again, the idea here is if you don't kill the soldier, and frankly, against good teams, you won't. You'll force the soldier out, most likely. Then you can stage a dive from this high ground with your Tracer. And then they're all clumped up. GG. Might even be a good time to play there as well. But yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea why, but I'm pretty sure in this moment I heard the blade and I was thinking about like stopping it for some fucking reason. Like my brain was just like, no blade, I must stop the blade. And he gets shit on because he fed, but...
Yeah. Good one click there. Okay. Heal up a little bit. Okay. Fine, walking fine. Fine. And again, like you're very not tunnel, sorry, but you're very in the mindset of playing this poke Genji here, right? Like look at your
Yeah,
tracer. Now, I of course like this is open
Tracer's
space,
fully
right?
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's harder for me to do in without committing the dash. If I commit the dash, I'm gonna get shit on by
I
Hazard.
I think you'll find
Both.
committing the dash honestly, right? If you commit a dash here, right, and the hazard goes let's say you commit dash to from point A to point B, and the hazard tries to leap onto you, what's gonna happen to the hazards, and what can you do about it?
Well, my Brig and Ana might follow up. My Ana might need sleep, and
Yes,
our tank is at the
yes.
very bottom there, and
That
he has
hazard
jump as well.
Right, that
Is
hazard
gonna get
will
turret on.
undoubtedly feed. Hazard is also not great. I mean, this goes beyond your pay grade because there's more general macro stuff. But Hazard is really not great into Honor Brig. He'll get one shot essentially, so you don't need to worry about that too much either way. But yeah, what's gonna happen if you dash here, and Hazard goes onto you, then your monkey will zone backline. It's literally turn and burn. It's literally that idea. Your monkey will zone off the entire backline here, and then you'll take a 4v1 and burn the Hazard. That easy. So don't worry about it too much. But yeah, hopefully you do eventually go right side.
I believe I do. I hope I do.
Okay. Taking a very long time here. I mean, their Sojourn is in a terrible position right now.
Yeah, I could have shit on her, but I was scared of the hazard. The one shot.
Well,
Even though I shouldn't.
Okay, so let's say yeah, there's a lot that goes on here, right? So yeah, so of course their front end's not in a great position here, right? But more importantly, look what happens to your tracer. Now, admittedly, your tracer probably shouldn't get shit on by Kiriko here. But the point being here is you can 2v1 this Kiriko, and you can win out the space very easily here. You can force TP, force the TP back to the team, blade it after she pops TP, and then Bob's your uncle fights over. But yeah. Like that
Yeah, I was just tunnel vision main for no reason at all, and I honestly can't. I don't know why. I was like autopiloting this first 2 points of this game for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, again, it might have been like you just being naturally or subconsciously scared about the hazard actually going onto you, which might explain why you don't actually play a little bit wide there. But yeah. Okay, speed it up. That's probably gonna be a lost fight. Yeah, there we go. Dash there's fine. Let's see that engage again. Yeah, dash is fine. Look for a trade. Deflect out, sure. Yeah, okay, I would have held deflect and then you deflect out into this room like this.
Yeah.
And then that's fine, right? So a little bit of a cleaner escape path.
Dude, my heart was pumping during this shit, but he walled me for some reason instead of going for me.
Yeah, it's really not a good wall. Speaking of that though, where should he move to?
Oh, there's a left. To the left.
Yes, right. Me. So let's say you press play, and then you move here. And look at this. Ooh, look at this really nice angle that I can actually dash onto the Kiriko.
Honor would die.
The Honor, right,
would die.
And then onto the Kiriko. Yeah, there we go. And then you can blade afterwards, and then fight's done. That's a 3K. You know, so or even a 4K if you want to include the hazard too. So
I go around with the timing without my Winston and force the blade. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen here. Oh, that Honor, okay, the Honor dies here, but still, like this becomes unnecessarily messy because of your rotation. And again, this is nothing mechanical. This is purely rotation based. Again, you'll get this. So again, when I saw this, right, it's like very instinctual to like what actually was going on here. And thankfully, even you spotted it when I asked you it with a little bit of hesitation here. So it's gonna be hard to spot these things when you're playing in the game. But again, the key question is, okay, I've gone for my cycle. I've gone for my dash my defect cycle. Where can I set up for next time? Or where can I set up for my next engagement? And really, like, that's the question you need to be asking yourself, because right now, you're doing nothing. Like, you've done your cycle, you know? You've got downtime. I'm not sure if I gave you this concept in the last session, but this is something that's also important for dive characters in general, is that you'll have uptime, and you'll have downtime. Uptime is like when you're like doing mechanical shit, like you'll be thinking, you don't want to be thinking during this moment in time because you'll be aiming and hitting your shots and doing skill checks and things like that. Your downtime is where nothing mechanical is happening on your screen. You are deflecting, you are recalling, you are jumping out as Winston, you are power blocking, you are doing nothing mechanical. And that is perfect time for you to ask yourself questions and thinking about what you want to move to. That's practically what I can say to you. It's like, right now, you're not shooting shits. So think about the broader picture. But yeah.
I can tell you, for one, why I wasn't thinking about anything in downtime is because I was, once again, just still worried about this hazard, because I've been shit on by really good hazards, and yeah, so far at least. is
Yeah, I
just
mean,
out of position and yeah.
I wouldn't be again. Maybe it's a more comp specific thing here, right? I mean, if anything, the Hazard should really be pushing you here. He's giving you way too much leeway to do this. But I think if the Hazard like lets you live, then that needs to be on top of your checklist. And hell, even if he doesn't, then I think still running back here, grabbing the mini, and making him come all the way around to come and chase you is still a fine idea to do, anyways. But yeah, okay. All right. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully you don't play this. You don't, nice.
I don't.
Be clean up here. Hopefully. I say hopefully. Okay.
Dude, this
Fine.
Genji pissed me off so much. He got the fucking pack.
Yeah.
As this mechanics, I just whip. That's what I'm talking about.
That's also like that. Okay, so a little bit messy from the team there. I'm not gonna hold you too much to it because your backline just get exploded by a single Hazard and a Genji here. So I'm not gonna cry. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Winston just left to take 20 years to kill this Kiri.
Right.
So it just like I took my 1v1 and didn't kill the Genji, so both of us were kind of.
Let me see what we're supposed to be doing here actually. The action surge is fine. Yeah, so like whenever you normally, what I normally say is that you want to force out frontline first, before
DPS tank.
Before going for backline. Yeah, but frontline essentially is referring to like aggressive DPS plus tank. So like normally that's what I usually say to players, and that's what I've been basically saying this entire VOD. But in this circumstance where the backline have actually died before the front line, it's kind of the other way around here. So you should really be just double checking and making sure that you're on your honor and your brick and live here, and forcing out this Genji beforehand, because again you hit one more shuriken onto this guy and he lives and he dies rather. When you chase him out to the ghost side. So yeah, you just dash to high ground there. If had you check the Genji there, you probably would have landed an extra shuriken, and he probably dies there. So, a little bit unfortunate.
And that was, again, a tunnel vision on this Genji. It's so hard.
And again, it should be, like, automatic or subconscious, you know? Like, the second that backline dies, you need to be turning around and looking at your backline. Are my backline safe? Is their Genji been forced out? Is their Hazard out, right? Like, even way back on first point, I even, like, very briefly gave the hypothetical of, okay, what if the Genji's playing here, you know? Because I always see, 5v4's lost to some bullshit. Like, their Hazard died, and this fight still would have been losable if their Genji was playing here, right? And that's why I was saying, oh yeah, if their Genji's playing here, you need to force him out. And it's very similar in this case, where here, the Genji was playing on this high ground here, you need to force him out. That needs to be a subconscious, immediate check. Where the fuck's the Genji if you've got a pick, or if you're at a big advantage? Like, are my backline safe? Can they walk? So yeah. Okay. And again, like, the more times you play dive, or the more times you play this kind of comp, you'll be more likely to ask yourself those questions next time. Because again, this is kind of a dive specific, I guess, VOD review, I suppose, where a lot of it is down to space control, a lot of it's down to making sure your backline are safe, a lot of it is down to forcing out frontline characters. Those are like the very basics of dive, and again, that needs to be done to the best of your ability in ranked, at the very least.
Yep.
But yeah, okay.
And I look at percent, and then I'm like, fuck it, I have to blade, because I look and I see their entire team is still up, and I'm like, might as well, you know, get at least a kill here. Just pad a little bit of stats because we're not winning this point. And yeah.
Yeah, so that was obviously incredibly greedy. Of course, you missed the slash dash initially, right? But
yeah,
why do you dash this?
Honestly, we had it was 99. It was lost anyways. I guess I didn't need to. I could have dashed away and saved myself.
Like, if you're that scared of a surge, just dash away, you know? Or you can just AFK standpoint and then dash away if you need to, because your team's coming back. So
yeah. Actually, you're right, dude. I could have just AFK'd Fountain, because we would have been able for the touch. That was so touchable. I mean, it was only 2 supports and they had all 4 up, but could have been something. But yeah, here's you'll see the lock in here. At least I think so. I started doing something.
Okay. Get up a little bit. Okay. A wall. Alright, so where should you move? In fact, even before this, right? Let's say back over here with your Winston. What angles, what positions are you thinking about playing? Or can you play?
Well, I shouldn't be playing main here unless like I'm poking to re-get my blade a little faster. But I could also
Right?
be like going a bit more to the right and then
Yeah,
doing some more poke on the side, yeah.
that's fine. So you could split off to your Winston and then try and get an angle here, and then
Yeah,
use
yeah,
this as
yeah.
cover,
And then
right?
dash in if he goes in.
Exactly, right? And then deepen, if your tracer's with you as well, you can deepen your angle. Maybe your tracer's spending some time going around the other side, or maybe, hell, even you can do that, right? Where this angle here is completely unused by the entire enemy team, which I think is kind of a mistake. Their Genji Kiriko should really be here, to be honest. But if no one's here, take it, you know, it's free. So you can actually take this angle here entirely, do the exact same thing, but from a deeper angle, and then again, we refer back to that aggressive but safe idea, where this is an extremely aggressive angle on the enemy backline, but it's actually fairly safe because you've got distance, you've got cover, you
And
can
the
dash
wall.
away,
Yeah.
and the wall too, yeah, and you can deflect out, right? It becomes extremely costly for the Genji hazard to actually force you out here, and then you just leave and you're fine, you know? So yeah, that's the angle I would have taken there, but that's kind of what needs to be happening here in the free fight stage. Okay. So here, and this is why it becomes important, right? Not just because of the obvious spikes here, which hopefully you deflect up or you can just dash out from, but also the poke from the Ana. Now we haven't really spoken about their POV of their Genji and what their Genji wants to do, and if you were in his shoes, what you might want to be looking for. But
Yeah, I would be going left, 100%.
Right, so the key thing if you're this Genji here is
Especially as soon as I hear that hazard ult, I'm like a big chain kills.
Yeah, you can chain kills it, right? More generally though, your mindset on this Genji and even on the Soldier and the Ana too, just as a team in general, is to prevent the Genji and the Tracer from getting on top of your backline here, because you're running an Ana, she's very squishy, and you're all running a Sojourn, she's fairly squishy. But if these guys are able to live the actual die pressure from a Moira, Genji, and a Tracer, and a Winston too, then these guys are going to get value in the long fight. So when I see you take a body shot here by Ana, I start to get scared, because you get down to, thankfully your Moira heals you here, but you get down to like 150 HP, and that becomes a lot more scary because you can't dive on 150 HP. Like the Ana's like, you don't want to take any bullshit damage here, essentially, it's kind of my point. And the same thing here with the hazard ult here too, is bullshit damage by you stacking it. And you don't avoid it, sadly. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I don't know what that wall climb was. And that deflect is not great either, right? Why deflect this?
Honestly, I have no idea. I thought I was still gonna get pressured by Ana.
Right, so
by the looks of it.
This is why I mentioned it in my my recent Genji video, but this is why that idea about visual aggro towards the end is really important, because no one's looking at you. No, you're taking literally zero visual aggro. Nobody's looking at you. You can just AFK and you're fine. Whereas again, comparatively, if there's tons of people looking at you, then you might need to deflect a lot more. Or deflect in that situation here. But again, because you've used your deflect here, sadly, it's going to hurt your next engage. Or it's going to hurt how aggressive you can play for your next engagement. Okay. Right. So this Ana's kind of, you're seeing it here, right? I mean, I really don't like this angle here anyways. Again, because you're down main, so you're taking damage from the enemy core. Or B, you're also seeing that the effects of a bad deflect in terms of you're getting your HP low, but also, you're again not in the mindset of going for backline, right? So you're looking at the left side. You have no idea where the Ana's at. You're not even thinking about where the Ana's at, right? And I can tell you're not thinking about where the Ana's at because you're not double checking if the Ana's like over here maybe, or if she's re-peeking. You're not checking to the right side if the Ana's walking forward, which she is, right? She shouldn't be walking forward here. But again, the point being here is you're not looking for these opportunities to actually go for cycles onto the Ana. Now here, of course, is a bit risky because your Winston's currently out, so I wouldn't go for it. But again, the idea here being is that I want you looking for the Ana or the backline. But yeah. Okay. Okay.
I kind of dashed. I should have dashed more to the left.
Right,
I dashed
so
directly
you
back
could have
into LOS.
Yeah, so you
could have dashed to the left more instead of the right because I just went right back in front of them.
Right,
Granted,
so,
if the Soj was looking, I could have died easily, but they weren't.
I mean, this could have been a nice time for you to escape and reset your angle, right? So maybe you can dash to here.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
reset
with
your
my
angle with the
tracer.
tracer, right? Yeah. Similar to what we
But
saw.
I kind of panicked that, and then forced it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Now we're getting teased by this.
Okay, what is that? Right, so you can take aggro from a hazard. He's blocking you. You don't need to deflect that, right? So yeah, you're only taking hazard aggro and maybe Kiryu as well. You can take that aggression. When hazard pops his leap, then he's trying to one shot you. Then sure, you can use deflect for that. I don't mind. But yeah, when he's blocking, there's no aggro. Okay. You gave up the angle without actually needing to. Again, you can just hold this angle or even go over here. And again, if they go onto you, you just dash out, deflect out, and you're fine. Or like again, at least you can prolong you can prolong how long you are on this angle for.
Yeah. I am not really focusing on the aggressive and safe angles here as well.
Right. It's something that again you'll see like it's commonplace. It's literally like you'll see Genjis do it all the time in high level play.
And I guess it's because I'm scared to like feed and look like an idiot or something. Like I'm scared to feed, and so then I haven't really seen the limit of what I can stall with or what angles like are like something you would never hold on any other character, but you can just mostly only do it on Genji.
Yeah. I mean, it is like you probably need to limit test it yourself, but especially on Genji as well, where it means harder to do an Echo because Echo's got no deflect. You know, like you are playing a fairly safe character to where worst case scenario you've got an instant deflect button that can remove 9% of the damage in the game, and then there's a dash button that can make you leave at any time. You're not Echo where you've got none of those things, and your flight, your escape cooldown being your flight isn't as instant as a dash. So you can really thread the needle on Genji. So yeah. Okay, let's see here.
Okay, now I saw this Kiryu go left.
There we go, fine. Force her out, good.
Force the TP.
Okay, sure. Fine.
I don't know why I thought I could thread that, but
sure. I mean, if you can walk. I'm not gonna cry about it, but you can climb up here and then go over it, whatever. It's a slight wall thing. Don't really care.
I'm just not used to the hitbox on that wall, so.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of deceiving. Okay, that Kitsune.
I see this Ana should be getting hit on, so.
Fine. So the Kitsune like helps at the Ana there. From a team perspective, I would rather you guys just leave their Kitsune Rush here entirely because you're probably not going to kill anything in Kitsune Rush and it's too risky. But sure, it's your team's doing that, so I don't know what you're doing. Okay, only thing here is that I would dash in a little bit earlier, just to, like guarantee the dash damage and then guarantee that I'm on this angle earlier. Also, if you use dash earlier, you'll get it back earlier. So again, had you been here, you'll start that dash cooldown a lot quicker, so you can go for another cycle a lot quicker. But yeah. Okay. Deflect's fine. Okay. Sure. Fine.
Yeah, this is aim.
All reasonable, right? So, mechanics there, of course, all fine. The Ana's out in open space here, so again, this is fine. So is the Genji too. So I'm not gonna cry about this too much. The only addition I would like to see is you to rotate like this and then come around from behind, because Ana should never really be walking up like this across the point. So again, I actually still would have rather you rotate around like this in a high level game, or if the Ana's playing properly. But barring that, no complaints.
Yeah, if she had sleep, I would have been.
Right.
My team, the rest of the team would have cleaned it, but it wouldn't have been as cool, I guess. Wouldn't have done the kills or the point.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, has it just daggers? Fine. Okay.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Alright.
I'm looking for poke for blade here because I'm really close.
Sure, that's fine. Okay. Fine angle. Only thing I'd be careful is to not take random poke damage from Ana. Like, you can still... I would only use this angle here if you're a hit scan, because it's super open, like an Ashe or something. But like, if you're Genji, just like drop here and stop the flank immediately. Because, again, if I zoom out, you've won this angle, right? Like, no one's like, especially in this sort of elo where people will just stack them in anyways. You haven't even got to fight for this. Again, the Genji Kiriko should be fighting for this angle here. And again, what should be happening is your Tracer comes around, maybe your Winston comes around, your Life Reaper can make this a 3v2, right? Like, you've got enough resources to make this a 3v2, but regardless, you can like use map control and deepen the angle. So let's see. Do you deepen it?
No, I already know the answer.
Yeah, it's not great, right? And like, the more the fight goes on, the more likely. I mean, first off, the more the fight goes on, the more likely the Sojourn is going to get a pick. But also, the more distance the Yana's creating. Right? Like now, like she's like a different country away. You know, she's really really far away. Whereas again, I would have liked you to have been
with the Kiri at first, yeah.
Right, I would like for you to have been around here by now, or around here by now.
She has Nano too. They have Nano Blade up, like if they really needed to force this. Just like in hindsight, so I could have been like, if I tracked that, I would have been more aggressive. Or, like,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Nano, yeah.
I wouldn't worry about chucking too much, especially in this elo. I mean, I mean, for myself, I only really do it because I can't aim, so it's just what I do. But yeah, on Genji in Plat, you don't have to worry about it that much. So I was actually gonna mention, I was thinking about some stuff with the ult game where you guys can hold super close like this, and then force overclock and then kite out. But I'm not gonna talk about that because it's pointless.
That's kind of like something you do a bit higher.
Yeah.
At least.
If this was a scrim environment, I would talk about it. But yeah. Okay. I mean, it's gonna be lost. Don't commit Blade for this. You get it?
Yeah. Yeah, I forced Blade because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, like Stealth Nano plus Overclock plus Blade. Like, all I would do here is, I mean, if you see an opportunity, that's what I would really say with Blade here. And you are using your Tree of Life here and your Primal, so it's technically 3v3, but their ultimates are a lot stronger and have significantly higher burst damage than yours. So yeah, that's the only thing I'd say with this Blade. You might still get value with it, but I would have preferred you to play a longer fight and then try and look for an opportunity maybe later into the fight as it goes on. But yeah. Okay, and also notice as well, had you flanked around, you could have actually dashed into the Kiriko. She's already low HP, right? But
yeah, she'd be dead right now.
Exactly, right? Like, look at you and your Tracer is literally doing it right now. She's doing it perfectly, right? You could have come in from literally the opposite angle from your Tracer and collapsed into that Kiriko, right? That's the easy dash engage. Right? And then maybe you force it to TP, you dash, and then try and finish the kill. Then you pop Blade, then you chase the Kiriko when she's got no dash, and then that makes a little bit more sense with the Blade. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. Right. Fine. Right, yeah. So
yeah,
again,
I get focus and shit on you.
Yeah, so I think again the mindset with Blade is opportunistic, right? And again, the only opportunity I see you getting here with Blade is forcing Kiri TP first, and then getting her to low HP, and then blading after to finish a kill. That's really it. But yeah. Okay, we'll see next fight. Okay. You guys want to win this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because of the length of the code.
Yeah, that was some movement bullshit there.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Sure.
But it's mostly because somehow we end up touching and winning that whatever the fuck that alt press Q to fight button fight was. I don't know.
That's just fine.
That was Kiri fed.
All good, no massive complaints there. Oh,
I could have went in more, to be fair.
Probably, yeah.
But.
Okay. Get up. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually wall climb over this, and then.
I did not know that, but no, that is
now you did. Right, yeah. I didn't even know that either until I saw Kyoko do it in a pro game. But yeah. Okay. See here. Okay. We can force that Genji out. And that Kiriko too. And no Suzu. Fine. Fine. Okay. Fine. Yeah, so you get, okay, this is really not great. So I don't, now the Genji's actually contesting you here. But actually, what should be your mindset approaching this duel?
I mean, honestly, I could like force it and just like honestly maybe walk past the Genji depending on like what he has up, because like their supports are like
Well, I'll say this: what are the enemy team currently doing right now?
they're popping ults on point.
Right. Do your team want to fight
For the
in that?
most part. No,
No. Right. So, by extension, do you really want to fight this Genji that much?
no, which
No.
is why I
Right.
left. But
So,
I also should have not used dash for it,
yes. So like,
because then I don't have it to help my team.
I wouldn't leave here immediately. I would just contest this Genji here, poke him out a little bit. I wouldn't immediately deflect and dash away, because this Genji himself is not that scary. What I really want to see you do here is conserve resources for your next push. Or rather, your next push being after the Kutsuni Rush patters out and is done. Then you can recontest the angle here. That's all I really want to see. But yeah, I think you going out a little bit early here kind of gives the Genji a little bit more than he bargained for. Fortunately, your Winston dies, so it's not really gonna matter that much. And now you're seeing
Yeah,
it, right?
now I get
Where,
shit
like,
on because I have
exactly.
nothing. I have nothing.
And again, that visual aggro concept is also important because you're only taking the visual aggro of a single Genji, right? And you deflect immediately. When he's just a single Genji, right? He's not even dashing into you. He's not trying to go for a one-shot combo. There's no burst of aggression there that he's taking. It's just a Genji shooting shotguns. So yeah. Okay, and if you want to dash out to here. If you want to like hard reset, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and then there's a med pack too.
Right.
If you
Okay.
follow.
Let's see next fights. Okay. Let's see. Alright. Okay, I don't mind your angle here. Okay.
I should have honestly went left with my
This
tracer.
is really weird. Yeah, so why do you not go left here?
Tunnel vision. I'm just gonna, because I'm
Right.
like, oh, the hazard is alone, like,
And again, I
appears
don't mind.
alone, even though he's not really.
Yeah, the thing is,
But-
I don't mind you poking him out. Like, you're forcing him out. He's got no armor here, actually, right? I don't mind what you're doing here. It's just like, you can do two things at once. Right?
But I'm holding W to go in
Exactly, right?
instead of
Your
like
rotations...
if I stayed on that like angle that I'm standing at right now and didn't like hold W going into him, I'd be better off because then I
Exactly.
can scope out the left.
Yeah, right. And you can poke him out while rotate. That's fine. But yeah, okay. And again, relates back to the mindset though. Okay. Let's
My
see here.
Winston's in trouble, so I kind of went in here.
Yeah.
I see all the people low in the background, and I'm like,
mean,
ooh, chain kill.
The benefit
I
is that your what's it called? Your Winston's causing a lot of disruption in the backline right now. So you can essentially greed your ability to walk forward here. Like, no one's gonna be looking at you because again your Winston's like doing a lot. So yeah, I think fine to walk forward here. Pretty fine, sure. On the next, fine. Sure. No complaints. Okay.
And I'm just kind of poking out. I try to get some damage off to get my.
To get your blade, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm curious to see how you set up this blade though. Okay. There's one thing you could have done here this entire time. Which I'll mention it when a fight ends. Okay. Fine, Mark Sojourn. Fine. Here you go on Suzu, and no dash. Fine. Fine. Happy with the blade. Sure. Right, no issue with the blade there. I think your positioning was okay. I think forcing out the Sojourn there was reasonable. She was split, she was alone. She had no Kiriko with her. And then the blade was also reasonable because the Kiriko had used TP on point. She was in open space. And she also used Suzu. So you couldn't really ask for a better blade there. My only issue, or qualm, is... It's not even an issue. It's more so just a difference in playstyle. Where I think something you can do here is hide in like this little room here. And then either...
I did not know that existed.
Did he not know this room existed?
No. Well, I probably went through there, but like on AI, like on autopilot. But I didn't know there was a pack in there.
Yeah, but yeah, you can essentially hide in this little room with your tracer, and then again either force out this Genji here or just AFK, and their backline essentially are either, how do I phrase this? If they walk, they die because you played if they walk, or they don't walk, in which case their backline does nothing and they're zoned. So again, it's that difference between that zoning playstyle and that actual committal into the dive if they walk close to you. And again, because again, if your Tracer's with you here, then the Genji gets forced out too.
Your mic is sort of like...
Yeah, I'll bring it a little bit closer to me. But yeah, the Genji will get forced out with the Tracer. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, they've got no major complaints about that. Okay. Let's see. Next fights. If there will be a next fight, you'll probably cap that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost killed that fucking hazard, dude. It's so close.
Okay, the social overclocks. Okay. I'm curious to your starting positioning this fight here actually again. Hey, you wanna chase the hazard, sure. Fine. Yeah, I've got no major complaints.
I missed my dash, but
That's whatever. Yeah, so I mean, the missed dash means you get deflect force, which is not great.
I know there's sojourns to my left, so that's why I sort of move right and look for an angle on her. See what she's looking at. We'll see here. Yeah. I see her just.
Dash cycle's fine. Okay.
I miss a lot.
The missing's fine to me. I'm just looking at the visual aggro here, right? That's the important thing. Because now, what about...
I should have, like, once I see the Suzu pop, I should have turned around for Ana.
Yeah, okay, so like there's things that target priority and whatnot, but I'm more focused on, I'm more worried about your position and your deflect. Because frankly, any of these targets should not be killable in Kitsune. With double pocket, like they shouldn't really be. So that's why I'm not caring about your target priority that much. In fact, all you need to really be doing here is zoning away the backline. And actually, in fact, where can you maybe move with deflect?
Around the corner to the left. Around the corner to the left, like, or like back on the point.
Sure. What about deflecting from here to here?
Yeah, that would work too. That would be give me another angle to play and poke with my Tracer.
Right. So why else is this angle good as well?
Because it sort of like splits up their attention, so they're looking at me versus trying to maybe heal their tank. Kiri's maybe trying to hit shots on me to get rid of the threat instead of healing their tank on point.
Exactly, right?
As well, maybe they're Ana and Soj even too. If I can pull all three of their attention, their tank's gonna explode.
Right, and this is how you zone effectively. Is you should realize now, none of these guys are that killable. They shouldn't really be that killable in Kitsune at least. I think the second you realize that either they're not killable or you need to get out because you're taking visual aggro in a Kitsune rush. You need to deflect out to here. And again, it's aggressive but safe because you can aggress onto the backline here and it's still threatening because again of your one-shot combo that these guys will be scared of, but it's safe because neither of these characters can really force you out that easily. Sojin can't, she'll need to commit power slide. Kiriko can't because she needs to commit walk climb. Ana can't because she's immobile. So again, you can really stay here and prolong how aggressive you can play. Same thing with the Tracer.
Unless like Ana hits a fucking crazy nade or something.
Right.
Crazy something like that. At that point, it's like they made a play. Not really much you can do.
Right,
Tracer gets the point that.
And actually, it's your Tracer that's the one zoning off, right? If I zoom out here and look at what your Tracer's doing, your Tracer just killed the enemy Ana, forced the Kiriko to TP and killed the Sojin too, which allows you and the rest of your team to burn the front line, burn the hazard here essentially. So yeah, we should get burned really fairly easily. Yeah, he does.
Yep.
In actuality, I think again you can do when you're running Genji Tracer, you can actually do more of the backline kind of play. So you can essentially preoccupy the backline even more. Because you're not great at burning characters on the front line, generally speaking.
Yep.
But yeah. Okay. We'll see here.
Then I kind of, win the one. Not anything special.
Yeah, do you end up winning this game?
You'll see, I guess. What do you think?
Man. At this rate, yes. Because, yeah, we won the last 2 points, so the momentum is in your favor. But we'll see. Okay.
So right here, I was kind of lost on what to do, and then I see my Tracer, I'm like, okay, I gotta go this
so that's
side.
good, that's good. So, I was just gonna say to you, but yeah, again, you look at what your Tracer's doing, which is good. We'll come over, take the angle, fine.
Because the
Okay.
angle was like double, whatever you want to call it, double threatening. If
Well,
we're
like
both on it.
there's two people on the angle, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
My only concern is that one of you needs to go to point to contest the hazard, but it's kind of difficult in this situation.
I thought our Winston would, but Winston came with us, so
Right.
we
yeah.
kind of perfected like 30% on this point, I think, before even.
Yeah, I mean,
because
as
we're
long as you
just
win the fight
doing
and
whatever
win the
we
space,
over
it should
here.
be okay. Okay, full
I'm
TP,
kind of annoyed at, force that.
and
But
then
then
now
I'm
you're
too
backline, right?
split.
So this is a lot better, right? So compared to just first fight immediately, where again you force the flankers out, or you force anyone on the angle out, and then you can actually dive with your team and dive and get good dive pressure because now you've got an insane angle to go onto literally any character you want to go on.
Yeah,
You can walk
literally,
them
this
out.
should have been an insta kill, but you're gonna see the biggest whiff of this after.
Okay. And yeah, of course you missed onto the Kiriko there, right? So again, not ideal, but at the very least here, I think again the angle's good. What I would like to see you do here is just walk climb up, not just to chase the Kiriko, but also to keep the angle because it's still a really good angle that you can poke from, and it's really annoying for anyone to clear you out. So even regardless of the Kiri there, but yeah, I mean, of course if you went up to the high ground there, you would have one-shot the Kiri. Or gotten the Kiri there, but yeah.
Our Winston and Tracer just got fucking exploded, and
Yeah. Okay.
this fight was winnable in our hands and more whiffs. Not that it would have mattered because now I'm just staggering, and they're letting me stagger.
Okay.
But
I'm curious to see what your tracer
yeah,
is.
that was.
Um.
Yeah. Well, I'm sending this to him, so we'll see.
Where was he at? Because he was already on the angle here. He just goes in way too early. Okay, sure. Does he get reforced out?
Yeah. So.
Yes, he does. And then yeah, this is very this is the classic
And then now
dive issue.
Winston. Now Winston, yeah, it's just timing. That was with my first VOD, right? That was an issue with my first VOD.
Right. And again, it's it's a really easy thing. You don't even need to communicate this. All your tracer needs to be doing is looking at your Genji and your Winston. That's all your tracer needs to be doing. If you guys are doing nothing, so should your tracer. If you guys are going in, then your tracer should also go in. And same thing applies to you. So it's a massive timing issue by your tracer. And again, it's the crazy thing because like, of course I can say to you, oh yeah, just hit your shots for her, you know, just hit the Kiri, hit the Juno, you get the backline, whatever. But like, if your tracer's just there, your mechanical stress is relieved because your tracer will make up that for you. But yeah, because your tracer just has to blink out, it's really not great.
I shouldn't need to be like hitting these fucking
no, exactly,
one shots
right?
20%.
Yeah,
right.
You shouldn't have to hit every shuriken to make this play work. But yeah, okay, we'll see this next fight. Okay. Let's see. Alright. Hatter's forced out. Okay. Juno's low.
I should have been dashed in when she went up there.
I mean,
that wall just cucked my kill. I feel like that would have been a fight win.
Right, so like, here's the thing. I don't want you to gamble this engagement on you hitting a dash. I'm not a massive fan of that. I mean, by the looks of it, again, the Hat's already been forced out, the Juno's already low, you can see a tracer through a wall, like, and you can eventually reach the Juno anyways by just walking up to her. Like, I think what you do actually do in the game is reasonable. I don't want you to commit onto the dash, because again, it's just, by principle, it's too risky. It's a gambling of your life here, essentially. I mean,
But
sure,
what
you
I
can
could have
dash
done
and
is
get
I
out.
could have dash blade and
Right,
probably
maybe,
guaranteed
yeah. But
and
again,
Hazard
that's
just barely stayed his cast.
right? But yeah, we'll see where you actually end up moving to. And yeah, the Juno dies to your Tracer, which is good. A much better time. I say should die. Okay, what is your Tracer doing?
Yep.
Like, your Tracer's on a great angle here. Okay, brilliant.
And clips the wall.
Flips the wall. Okay, gets the Juno eventually, good. But yeah,
and the cash should be dead as well, because they're right in front of her face.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
have no idea if he does get it or not. I think he does.
Okay. So why play this?
And honestly, there wasn't a reason. Like, I think honestly, I was like 89%. Holy shit, we're about to lose the game.
Yeah.
I think that's actually probably just sealed.
Probably
the
panic,
game.
yeah. Because right now, again, you're in a great position. You're in a great angle.
And you can also see I fucking slashed when I could have waited and could have did dash. There you go.
Yeah, I could have used it again, yeah.
We got the kills, but our tank is dead. Or no, our tank is alive. Never mind, we did get point. I thought we lost that.
Okay, I mean, judging by the time code, it looks like you're gonna lose this. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like Bastion now.
I think, yeah, if I took a deeper angle here and was more threatening.
Right, I mean, yeah, this is exactly the thing, right? If I don't know why they're on Bastion now. This is a terrible swap into Genji Tracer, God forbid. But like, look how stuck these guys are. Like, they have zero map control. This entire angle is yours. Like, it's yours to take.
Yeah, and my Tracer knows it too.
And yeah, exactly. Right? Look at what your Tracer doing.
If I was deeper in, like.
And you go back to don't go main here. Oh, okay, I need to go top down for this. Okay, Tracer's on a great angle here.
Imagine if I was there. I think we win this.
Ironically, yeah. I mean, I guess the question then becomes, why did he go back main?
The answer is I have no fucking clue because I was scared of taking the angle. Honestly, probably.
I do find it slightly
For
funny.
no reason, right? It's just like a lack of confidence, maybe because earlier, like in this point, I did whiff, going backline. So maybe in the back of my head, I was thinking like, if I do that shit again, like it's just gonna be a throw, so I might as well go main.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's probably a confidence thing from whiffing all those shots on the Curie Juno earlier.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But yeah, whatever it is, I mean, even if you are like rightfully, like you've got a right to be not confident in hitting your shots, which again I don't think is the case because you actually hit a fair amount of shots onto the Juno and then onto the Curie too. Like I'm not disappointed at that. It's just your Tracer, exactly. Like your Tracer did fuck all, and then kind of threw that fight. To be honest, just to put it bluntly. But even if
then
that
I
was the
throw
case,
the rest of the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you that's like you're taking turns throwing the game, you know. But yeah, I do find it funny that you did say to me earlier that, at the beginning of the VOD, that the thing about this game was mechanics. Where again, in fact you could have just ignored 95% of this VOD, focus on this fight, then just literally just win this fight and then you win the game. But yeah, and that's nothing to do with mechanics, obviously. My stem from mechanics.
Why am I shooting the tank? I can't tell you.
Yeah. Not great.
No, I know she's not gonna die, and they pop Curie. And now I start looking for an angle, but then go backwards.
It's too little, too late. It's a 2v5. So yeah. Okay, we'll do a quick thingy here. Quick summary. We'll do what first point? I'll say. I mean, last time I remember rotations was one of them, and aggressive but safe was also one of them too. I'll say for this one, I want it to be like way more mindset focused in terms of like avoiding television. Tunnel vision. Again, that needs to be like your job, role, or functions in the comp. Again, in this VOD, when you're playing Tracer plus Genji, it's mainly twofold. You're looking for two things here. Play super wide / deep angles. Not even play, just control them. I'll say plus control due to your mobility, which again involves taking 2v1s whenever you can, or 3v2s.
Yeah, so forcing fights in our favor that are on the flank, just like fucking just exploding people.
Yeah. And then secondary to that is when I'll clear this up actually. When enemy backline stack, then go for a dive cycle on the backline. That's simple. And
maybe a bit more of the, what is it called when after your cycle's over? What's that called?
I guess the escape path, like the disengage, was actually what I wanted to talk about next. Because sometimes, like when you were deflecting out, like first fight for example, or the fight where, again the fourth point where they Kitsune rushed and you were taking aggro from a Sojin, Ana, and a Kiri, and your Tracer ended up being the one that was zoning. I think you need to think about where you want to move to while you're deflecting, or rather, like, I don't want you to
Escape
necessarily think
plans.
about this. Yeah, I guess it's like an escape plan, or like your a new angle to play
Or downtime, more of like
during
like
downtime. Also,
yeah.
downtime, because again, when you're deflecting, you're not doing anything. And again, we've seen this many a time. First fight we saw it, the fight where there's like the yellow points where you're in the blue room and you could have rotated to the left side and gone like a 3k with the blade. That could have been really nice. And again, that comes underneath this point too. So it's kind of a mixture of like your rotations, I guess. Rotations. Yeah, I guess you can call it like rotations during deflect. It's like a way you can phrase it. Is kind of the key thing. And again, this encompasses aggressive but safe, as always. Okay. And then third point. Let me think. I mean, I could talk about your blades. Yeah, I can talk about your blades. Sure, why not? I can talk about patience actually.
Yeah, not
Patience
popping it instantly.
with blades, and then also just patience with your engages in general. Again, not specific to you, but again, when you're queuing with the tracer, just making sure that you and your tracer are together on time. Like one of you's not, so that's not the case. You don't want it to be one of you's in, one of you's out, as we just saw. That's like the worst case scenario because that can really lose you fights. So just having you and your tracer having a little bit of patience between actually making sure you guys can actually be on the same page, that you guys can actually force angles out, that you guys can swing and deepen angles when you want to. Stuff like that is really important. But yeah, those are the 3 key points, I'd say. Any questions?
Oh no, not really.
Great.
Oh, other than like upload time and.
Oh
etc.
yeah. What time is it now? Actually, yeah, I should. Okay, I'll upload this tonight. And then this should be in 2 or 3 hours. Hopefully, it should be done. And then yeah, it should be fairly quick. Hopefully.
Okay. So if it's fairly quick, because my friend's at work right now, he's at the tracer.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, should be fairly out quick then. But yeah, barring that, as